If you think life is hard, try living it while naive. That's what happened to me in high school. I became the subject of bullying by my friends simply because I couldn't stand for myself. I could not make decisions for myself. And all I did was seek their opinion about what I think I should do, what games I should play in school, what kind of friends I should make, who should be within my circle or not. Shortly, all this made me fall into depression. This is because I had no control over my life. I had to listen to what they had to say about my body. I had to listen to what they said about my friends, my boyfriends, my love life, my school performance, and everything else to do with me. Friends, let me tell you, being in depression is not such a good thing. Your world becomes very dull. You cannot see the end of the tunnel. Naivety cost me my life, my happiness, and it could have cost me my destiny had I not made a decision to change my life in total. Now, what happened is my quality of life had reduced. I was not happy at all. I did not want to socialize with anyone. I just wanted to stay in my own small world, in my space, where nobody disturbed me, where nobody could tell me anything. And I was anxious about what people wanted to say about me. Now, for me, the transition between high school and campus, I gained a whole lot of weight. I was a size 10 when I left high school, and by the time I joined campus, I was a size 14. So my failures, at most times, I associated them with weight gain. If you could come and tell me, Francisca, why are you messing up this and this? I'd think, okay, he or she's saying this because I've gained weight. I'm not performing because I've gained weight. And this affected my life in a very big way. I wanted to be part of social circles. I wanted to be part of the people who are popping in the fashion industry, people who are popping in magazines, people popping everywhere around the world. But sadly, there was no opportunity for me to do this. Why? Being a plus-size model in Kenya was not the norm. And one day I sat down in my hostel in campus and I looked at my life in totality. I thought, why am I sad? Why am I not happy? And I questioned every decision and every action that had led me to this point in life. I remember crying to myself and talking to my mother. And she told me, you know what, child? You need to reach out to the depths of your heart and figure yourself out. What makes you happy? Figure your life as a colorful world and then start building it piece by piece. And in the midst of this realization, my mind just clicked. I needed to live for me. I needed to take back the control I'd given to other people to make decisions on my behalf on what I should wear, what I should eat, how I should dress, which events I should go to, who I should talk to. And this meant that I would make decisions on my own. I decided the first thing to do was to stop being in a clique. I used to hide in cliques. We used to walk in cliques of 15 people, and somehow I used to be the girl at the back. Francisca would hide behind other strong personalities. And yet, this affected mine. Why? Because I had to suppress mine so that the other persons could stand out. Therefore, the first thing I did was to make a selfish decision. And this decision was, I needed to stand out for myself. I needed to be able to be my own friend. I needed to be able to be my own critic. I needed to be able to be comfortable with whatever decision I made for myself, by myself. How did I arrive at this? If I was faced with any key decision to make, I'd ask myself, will this make me happy? If the answer was yes, then I'd do it. And if the answer was no, I wouldn't. This did not matter whether you are my mother, my father, my sister, my friend. This was all about me. Now, the decision to be selfish helped me in a very big way. How? I had more control over my life. What I wanted to eat, if I wanted to have fries today, I'd go out, fetch fries, eat them, and enjoy my meal. If I wanted to go to the gym, I'd walk out, sign up to the gym, work out, and feel good. All decisions were made by me. They benefited me. Not because my boyfriend said, you need to lose weight. Not because the dietitian said, you need to stop eating that. No. All this was because of what I chose to do. Again, I was happier. My relationships with other people were better. My life started feeling colorful again, simply because I'd chosen to take back the control over my life. Now, all this seemed to go well for me. How? Quality of life improved. My performance in school improved. If I wanted, my quality of relationships improved. And I spent more time thinking about my life. Where was it that I was headed? What was my future going to look like? What projects did I want to start? What businesses did I want to start? And this helped me to cultivate a culture of self-awareness, a culture of choosing other people to include them in my circle. If you didn't make the cut for my values, then you wouldn't get into my circle. Why? You are going to make me go back to the space that I once was. So as my life changed for the better, and as I became happier with time, I wanted this for other people who had gone through the same journey I had. People who had gone through depression, people who had been bullied by their friends, bullied by their family members, their lovers, their boyfriends, whatever, you name it. And it didn't matter what their hang-up was. Mine was weight gain. Theirs could be their color. Theirs could be their height. Theirs could be they're not educated. Theirs could be whatever it is. I wanted them to move from the position of being a victim to the position of being a victor. So I started looking at how else can I make somebody's life better. And I didn't want to go very far. I wanted it to relate to my story. So the first thing I did was I registered as a plus-size model in a local fashion agency. Now, the sad thing is, I know, right outside my comfort zone. So the sad thing is, back then, this was in 2011, the landscape in Kenya for plus-size model was very, very bad. As a matter of fact, I dealt with stereotypes. For instance, do fat people become models now? You know? The fashion industry moguls used to say, no, we can't have a plus-size person being a plus-size model. This cannot happen. As a matter of fact, I remember getting emails from various fashion moguls in Kenya saying, you are doing something that is wrong. But this helped me to push. Why? Because when you look at the demographic in Kenya, it's largely plus size. That meant there was a group of people that needed to be represented in the fashion industry. And therefore, I pushed these boundaries. I wanted to break these barriers. I wanted plus-size people to be represented. I wanted plus-size people to appear in magazines, TV shows, and all over print media and advertising. So what did I do? I started a plus-size modeling agency. Now we have 62 plus-size models, by the way, and it's doing very, very well. So what this did was push designers to cater for the plus-size community. When they make plus-size samples and put them on the runway, that opens up the business. Why? The plus-size people feel that they can access fashion. They feel that they can attend these fashion events. Prior to that, plus-size men and women had no business in the fashion industry. Why? There's nothing for us. But right now, when you go to the runway, we strive to talk to designers to have at least 2 to 3 pieces that are plus-size. So far, the feedback is very good. We have models who get booked almost every weekend, and we are happy that such designers exist, and they're supporting our cause. Now, as time went by, I realized there was nothing to read about the plus-size industry. So what did Francisca do? Francisca started an online fashion magazine dedicated to the plus size industry. We tell their stories. We tell their stories of bullying, how they overcame their challenges, how they can access fashion, what the designers trending, what can you wear, how do you deal with bullying in school. All these stories help us to change the narrative within the plus size industry. Now, all this came from one selfish decision to take control from my life. To take control, for my life. To become a plus size model, to change the landscape in Kenya, to make a difference in how people look at plus size people. Right now, when you walk around town, you'll see plus size women looking very good, fashionable, confident. I wanted my organization to become their well of living and healing water. When they come to my page in the morning, they'll get motivation. They'll get ways to deal with depression. They'll get ways to deal with stereotypes and stigma. We talk about issues that surround them. How do you deal with a bully? How do you deal with not accessing fashion? How do you dress your body? Where do you get these items? And for designers, we tackle issues for each and every other person. And this is not just for women. Men have come out too. Francisca, I have issues dating. Why? I feel I'm big. Francisca, where do I get clothes? I'm a big man. Where do I get clothes from? And with time, this narrative is changing. But that's not what I'm here for today. Today, I'm here to teach you how to move and control your life from being selfish to being generous. When I started my journey, I didn't care. I didn't care what you thought about me. As a matter of fact, I existed and lived intentionally. If I wanted to do something, I'd go for it, not caring in the world what you thought about me. But right about now, I have a bigger scope and a bigger view to the world. How? I look at what you want to achieve and how that merges with what I want to achieve. I look at how I can make your life better without costing my happiness, without costing my own existence. So friends, how does this work? I use the principle of adding by subtracting. Sometimes you want something so bad, and then you lose it. What happens when that, what do you do when that happens? You get heartbroken. For instance, maybe you wanted a deal so bad, and you weren't chosen. And this makes you feel like maybe you're not capable, yeah? Maybe you're not qualified, yeah? Maybe you shouldn't even have tried it. Maybe you shouldn't even have considered it. But instead, some things are taken away from you so that you can be able to get something else in future. If you change your mindset, then you'll be able to adjust in this world. The second principle is very simple. Do you, and let other people do whatever suits them. How will this help you adjust? It will increase the level of, or your capacity to accept other people's decisions. The same way you would want them to honor yours is the same way you should honor theirs. If someone doesn't want to work with you, don't be mad at them. If you did not want to work with them, you didn't expect them to be mad with you, right? So, when you do so, you'll realize that once you make selfish decisions for yourself, you create room to accommodate other people. You create room to change their life for the better. And with time, you'll realize that you change the world in a very big way. These are two very extremes. These are two things that are very extreme. How? Being selfish in itself is not a good thing. Why? Because you might end up being mean to other people. But being selfish is very good for you. It allows you to cater for your own needs. But friends, to make the world a better place, you need to be generous. Why? It allows you to be kind to other people. It allows you to relate to their stories. It allows you to relate and be passionate and listen to your next partner. You might be struggling with one thing, But if you are generous and if you have a wide and open mind, you might be able to accommodate their issues. And if you do so, you'll realize that once you balance selfishness and generosity, you'll be able to change the world in your own small way, as I did with Plus Fabulosity. Thank you so much for listening.